Hi, this is Andy with Mountain Computers. Today is July, I think 15th, 16th, and we've been off the air for over a month because we've been working. We've been building some servers and building some incredible things. However, it's been about 3 or 4 months since we actually did some crosses, some molds for crosses, and I wanted to share today with you how we actually build the molds for crosses, and also show you some examples of crosses that we made. We just yesterday created a whole set of new crosses from our existing molds, and it was pretty amazing. So let me show you the building blocks. First of all, in order to create a mold, you have to have the right resin or mold material. We use MoldStar 20T. You can get that from California. Just order it from the wholesalers. This is what we call the material. Use each of these evenly, even measurement. You can pour it in like a Pyrex bowl evenly. Stir it for 6 minutes. Pour it into your mold of something you want to cast. It has quick setup. It sets up in like about less than 30 minutes. And when you're done with that, and you can use all sorts of different frames. We use like cardboard box tops. Put what you want to cast in there. Use some border to limit the amount of resin. You can use cardstock like this and cut this to shape. We use stuff like that, big stuff. And the result is different molds like this. Here's a small one. Bigger. These are a little bit bigger. See, these are crosses. These are 10 in here. This was one of my first crosses that I ever cast. And as you get more and more fancy, try different sizes. Again, a small mold. And then when you decide to go big, like with that box top, you get molds like this. Now this is really cool. See how flexible this is? It's not very thick. So you only want to be as thick as what you're casting. And if you optimize the gaps between the mold, you get more of what you're trying to cast. That's one example. Here's a couple more that we've done. These are very cool. They do dry out. See the white edges there? They do dry out. And then they're not as shiny. Here's another one. Very cool. Very, very cool. Here's another one. These are multiple. These are onks. We did onks as well. Onks are very, 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 very cool. Okay. And then last but not least, this was a big one. This was super thick. I over poured this. So the best thing to do when you're testing, so you can see a good example of this. See how nice that looks? That's very cool. When you're doing your test mold pours, what you want to do is, see, that was pretty thick. You want it to be level. And this, by the way, was the last mold I did. I'll show you how close this is. See how nice that is? You lay it level, you pour it level, let it set up level, and that's about it. So MoldStar 20T, even measurements, and you can just pour it out of the bucket. Just make sure you keep them separated. Even measurements into something. And what I do first is when you cast whatever you're trying to mold, use a space, a very small space, very small. If you only need this much space, take some of that board, cut it out, add water, okay, and pour it back into your Pyrex mixer pour, and it'll tell you how much volume you need. You can always have a little extra, doesn't matter. It is expensive. MoldStar is a little expensive, but it's cheaper than other solutions, and it sets up really fast. It's very easy to work with. Just wear gloves. So let's talk about the output. So MoldStar 20T, mixing even ratio 1:1. 6 minutes to mix. Pour. 30 minutes to cure. done, pull it apart. And when you're done, we just did some more crosses. This is an entire set of crosses we just finished. And some more crosses. These are very cool crosses. See, look at these crosses, how cool these are. Yeah, lots of crosses. Glow in the dark right here. Emerald, gold. That's glitter. What else we got here? We just finished these yesterday. Here's some very gorgeous purple. Amethyst, actually. We got cherry blossom. See, look at this. Look at those colors. Look at all those crosses. These are actually made of glass. This is beautiful. Beautiful glass crosses. This one here is sapphire. Beautiful sapphire. We got these. These are haystack gold and silver. Those are gorgeous. We got some eye of Ra. Like I said, cherry blossom. Cherry blossom is very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. So when you pour those, the actual cure time in room temperature, about 70 to 80 degrees. About 70 to 80 degrees. Here's an example of onks. Let me show all these onks. Very cool. By the way, these are all for sale. The cure time is only 8 hours. So Molstar 20T. Oh, and the material that we use, that we mix and pour into this mold. We use Glaze Coat kit, even ratio, and you see these little cups, these little shot glasses. These little shot glasses, what you can do with those is just do even measurements into a cup, plastic cup like this. I'll show you. See, that's the bottom, that's what's left over. And you can just get these cups from your local party store, and then these cookie sticks for stirring. So what you can do is you do your even mixture of glaze coat. You can get that at Home Depot, and it's not that much. It's like 80 bucks. But that's a full gallon, and you can get 3,000 crosses out of one of those kits. You can start small. It doesn't go bad. Make sure the room you're in is very well ventilated. Make sure you have a fan on. So you pour that evenly into this. I used to use a scale. It's not measured by weight like I thought. It's actually even volume. Okay, so don't get confused with weight, because ironically these two different chemicals weigh differently, equal volume, which I don't think is possible, but it actually, I made a few mistakes. So I learned the hard way. And then the shot glasses that you use to pour, you can get these. See these? You just need one or two. And you can mix and match. Oh, and as far as your glitters go, like I told people, you can get your glitters from, like this here. You can get your glitters from Walmart. They're only like a couple bucks each. Take a spoon, even pour measurement. So if I pour this, to about here, to about that full, right there, about that full, I'll take 1.5 level teaspoons of this and mix it. Now, as far as this mixing ratio, these little shot glasses here, this is important. This little shot glass here, 3 of these of one type of glaze coat, 3 of those, 3 of these into a cup like this using a shot glass. Keep your shot glasses separate. You can't mix those. You put it in this cup, stir, and you can count this. Don't worry about the bubbles. Bubbles you can float out. But when you pour it in and you mix it, don't worry about the bubbles. Just, 7 minutes. Let it set, 7 minutes. Let it set, 7 minutes. Scrape from the sides, scrape on the bottom. Okay? When you're done, it'll look a little a little bubbly, but it will settle down. The bubbles will float to the top. So if you put that in this cup and you spin it for 7 to 10 minutes, you'll start to feel it warm up. Just don't worry about going slow. You see videos where people are doing it nice and slow, trying to keep the bubbles out. Technically, you can do this real fast. When you're done, you put in your color. You can use glow-in-the-dark, like the Glowtech that I use. Still, you know, for that many, 3, about 1, 2, those tablespoons. Is it a tablespoon or teaspoon? Those are teaspoons. Tablespoon's much bigger. But when you mix that in, same thing. Then when you go to pour it, when you pour it in the mold, make sure the mold's level. Make sure it's in a room where you can have ventilation, but it's warm. Wintertime's bad. Then you take a heat gun. Take a heat gun like this. You can get these. There's only like $30, this Chicago Electric. And set it on a medium-high heat. And then you float that over the top. You turn this on and you float that over the top of what you just poured. And the bubbles will rise out of it. The bubbles will rise. And the end result is you might get a cross. And you see the bottom of this cross. You'll see that. Let me see if it'll zoom in here. That might. It's hard to tell. You'll get a little residual, but nothing crazy. But it will be in the shape of a cross as well. Magical, huh? So anyhow, that's it. Andy from Mountain Computers, just telling you how to do crosses. Moldstar 20T, glaze coat, make your molds, pour your resin, even ratios, you know, mixes. 3 shot cups each into a major cup, spin it up, teaspoon and a half to your choosing, pour it, hit it with a heat gun, let it set 8-9 hours. When it's done, you should be able to pop them out, let them set on a hard flat surface, 2 to 3 days. It'll be hard rock, hard as nails. But that's about it. So if you have any questions, you can go to theappellant, which is .com, which is my wife's website, and you click on free crosses, and it'll actually take you to the free crosses section for when you buy a book. But also it tells you how to do the crosses yourself. So that's about it. Andy from Mountain Computers. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll be right back with another video about the latest computer build I just did, plus a couple other subjects. Okay? So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks, Andy from Mountain Computers. Bye.